Today we will start with early sunrise and late sunset. Early sunrise, late sunset. Suppose this is our earth. Okay, now our earth has its own atmosphere. Okay, suppose I consider this as the atmosphere of our earth. Okay, now imagine a case when there was no atmosphere. Suppose I imagine that of Mercury. Okay, does Mercury have any atmosphere? No, Mercury doesn't have any atmosphere. So imagine that if earth didn't have any atmosphere, then what would have happened? See, the position of sun is not changing. Sun is fixed here. Okay, so at some instant, suppose I am at this position, right? Then the rays of sun are coming and reaching vertically on me. Okay, now the earth is rotating. So if the earth is rotating, a situation will come when I will be here, right? So in that case, the light has to travel a larger distance to reach me. Now a situation will also come when I will be here, right? Now in that case, this ray of light, then any ray of light, any other ray of light has the maximum possibility to reach me. Will any ray other than this be able to reach me? No. Will this ray be able to reach my eyes? No, because they will be blocked by the earth's arc, right? Now I have crossed that. So this is the place where I should have seen the sunset, right? But it's not the case. When I'm here, I can also see the sunset. But sunset can't be seen if there is atmosphere. But if there is no atmosphere, if there is atmosphere, then you can see the sunset even after crossing this position. Now how will you be able to see that? See, for that, suppose you have a ray of light. Now if I consider earth, if this is our earth, now the earth has atmosphere, but the atmosphere is in layers, right? Let us make 3 layer. No, I am not writing troposphere, stratosphere. I am writing 3 layer. Now out of this 3 layer, 1, 2 and 3, which one will be more denser? 1. So this is denser, this is less denser, this is least denser, right? Suppose a ray of light is coming here. Okay, so what can we do is that we can draw a normal at this point. If I draw a normal, this is rarer, this is denser, right? So if it makes an angle, suppose 60 degree, will it make an angle less than 60 degree or more than 60 degree? Less than 60 degree. Suppose it makes an angle of 50 degree. I am just taking an example. It makes an angle of 60 degree and falls on this surface. Okay. Again, I will draw another normal on this surface. I will see that it is making an angle of, suppose, 63 degree. Suppose. Now, if it is making an angle of 63 degree, now it will again pass and it will make a lesser angle. Again, if I draw a normal, the thing will be repeated, right? But just imagine the case if there would have been no atmosphere, what will happen? This ray will straight away pass along this line. But in this case it's not happening, right? So if I look from this point, I will just extend it backwards, and if the ray is coming from sun, the sun will appear here. Is that clear? So if there would have been no atmosphere, then I would have seen the sun pretty before. But as there is atmosphere, the sun is still visible to me after even I cross the horizon. Okay, even after I cross the point where the rays of light will be straight away passing and being blocked by the earth. Okay, this is only possible due to refraction in our atmosphere. So is light covering more path or is it covering less amount of path? More amount of path, right? So the light is covering more amount of path, it is bending. Okay, so this happens in case of sunset. Now in case of sunrise, the story is same. The story is same. Sun is here only, sun won't change its position. I am just rotating. Okay, now if a ray of light goes in this direction, now I am at this point. After the night I will be at this point. So what will happen? Again it will face the denser medium and it will gradually bend. So I will be able to see the sun somewhere here. So this is early sunset, this is early sunrise, this is late sunset. Is the concept clear? Okay, anyone having any kind of doubt, tell me. Yes.
Sir, I have to down only first that was late sunset.
Okay.
We were just considering the sun as in that point, the actual point when it was just light was coming to us, as we are just imagining that the image of this sunset. I will not just understand why we just
Image of which sunset? Image of which sunset?
means we are just thinking
See, whenever I see anything, I just, suppose a light is coming like this and reaching my eye. It is bending due to the medium. It is coming like this and reaching my eye. So when it reaches my eye at the last moment, it reaches in this direction, right? What my eye will see is that I will just draw it backwards. I will see it here. It doesn't matter whether the object is actually here. It doesn't matter to me. If the ray is bending and coming and reaching my eye like this, it will go straight backwards and I'll see the object to be there. Is that clear? You remember the case of the mirage? Desert mirage? I told you, na? What happens in case of mirage? That this is the palm tree. A ray of light comes and reaches my eye like this, right? I will just trace back the path and I will see its reflection here. Is that clear? I cannot see in the bend way. I will just trace back the last path of light that reached itself. Okay? Is the concept clear? Ekdam? Chalo. So this is early sunrise and late sunset. Okay. Now I will discuss about scattering. Okay. See. Now in dispersion, we understood that a light ray will come and it will split into its component colors, right? So it will pass through a denser medium and then it will split. What will happen? Split. Upon splitting, the same amount of light will be passed on forward. Okay. Now there is another phenomena which is known as scattering. Now scattering means to make things go in different directions. Okay, I scattered. Suppose I take a handful of rice, I scattered them. So what did I do? I scattered them in any direction, in any way I thought. Okay. Scattering in case of light is a different phenomena. Okay. Now in scattering, first what is done, a light falls, so it absorbs the light. In dispersion, does it absorb the light? No. Light will come, it will get split and it will pass on. But in scattering, it absorbs the light. Okay. Now after absorbing the light, it re-emits. So it's a different phenomena. Okay, it just does not passes it. Like in dispersion it is passing it, in scattering it is absorbing it, and after absorbing it is re-emitting. Okay, it is re-emitting. This is the phenomena of scattering. So scattering is divided broadly into two types. First type is for smaller particles. Second type for larger particles. Okay, for smaller particles, for larger particles. Now if light falls on smaller particles, now what is the definition of smaller? How small is smaller? How much small is smaller? Can you tell me? Can you tell me?
A particle less than 1 nanometer.
No. Suppose a wavelength of light is coming. Okay, wavelength is the difference between two maximas, okay, or difference between two minima, or difference between any two phases. Now this has certain length. Suppose this has length lambda. What is its length? Lambda. Now if it falls on any particle whose diameter is close to lambda, I will call that particle of small size. Okay, so particle whose diameter is close to lambda, I will call that particle as small size or of equivalent size. Okay, now what is a larger size particle? Of size much greater than lambda, which is not comparable to lambda. Is that clear? Okay, so I have two kind of particle. One is smaller particle, that is size comparable to its wavelength. One is larger particle of size much bigger than its wavelength. Okay, now scattering, if I write scattering by S, is proportional to 1 by lambda to the power 4 only in case of smaller particles. Now tell me, who has bigger wavelength, red or violet? Who has greater wavelength, red or violet? Red. So wavelength of red is about 8000 angstrom. Wavelength of violet is around 4000 angstrom. Is that clear? Angstrom means 10 to the power minus 10 meter. 1 angstrom equals 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Now the thing is, so 1 by lambda to the power 4, that means anything which will have lesser value at the bottom will have a higher value in all, right? So lambda violet is 4000 angstrom, lambda red is 8000 angstrom. So lambda violet has a lesser value, so scattering will be more in case of violet. Red has a greater value, so scattering will be less in case of red. Is the concept clear? So scattering will be more in case of violet. Now just because this is a rule for smaller particle, that for smaller particle, if it absorbs a ray of light, if it is a smaller particle, the blue light will be scattered more, the red light will be scattered less. Okay, that is not the case with the larger particle. Larger particle, like you may consider water vapor. You may consider water vapor. This is a larger particle. Now for larger particle there is no such rule. For larger particles scattering is same. It will scatter red the same way as it will scatter violet. Okay, now let us understand it in much more detail. See, we will do it through an example. Okay, now scattering for red, we can write scattering for red is proportional to 1 by lambda red to the power 4. scattering for violet is proportional to 1 by lambda violet to the power 4. If I divide them, scattering of violet by scattering of red, we can write, see, lambda red by lambda violet whole to the power 4, right? Now lambda red is 8000. This is 8000 angstrom. Lambda violet is 4000 angstrom whole to the power 4. We will just deduct the angstroms and the thousands, right? This will be 2. 2 to the power 4 is 16. So scattering of violet will be 16 times the scattering of red. Okay, so if violet and red light is absorbed, I will keep on scattering violet light. For every 16 violet light scattered, only one red light will be scattered. Now suppose I have given you some pulses and some rays. I told you that you can scatter the rays as you want, but you cannot scatter the pulses more. So you took some rays and you took some pulse, musur dal, you took some musur dal and you took some rice and you started scattering. Now you are scattering the rice more, right? You are scattering the dal less. So you are scattering the rice. If you keep on walking and after some time if I tell you show your hand, which will be more left, the rice or the pulses? Pulses. Why will the pulses be left more? Because you have scattered them less. So anything that you scatter less will be retained more, right? Now if violet is scattered more than red, so at the end of some time or some distance, which will remain, red light or violet light? Red, because the violet is already scattered. Okay, now suppose you go somewhere where the red and violet both are scattered in the same way, red and violet both are scattered in the same way, then what will happen? Both are equally scattered. Now we learnt about Newton's disk, right, in which all the colors, if we mix them and if we rotate them, we get a single color, white light, right? We get a white light. So from it we can understand that if we mix them in such a way that we get a single color of light, that is a white light, that means equal scattering will give us what kind of light? White light. Is that clear? Okay, now let us understand it. Okay, we will understand Tyndall effect. Okay, what is Tyndall effect? You read in class 9. What is Tyndall effect? Tyndall effect. Anyone? Tyndall effect you read in class 9. Then? Okay. Have we ever understood? Okay, have we ever seen that we have just woken up early in the morning, light is coming from the ventilator and falling on the wall? Can you see the ray of light coming? Yes, but can you see this ray of light coming? No. But you can see that ray of light. Suppose your mother is dusting the room and a ray of light comes. Will you see that in a better way? That means something is happening with the dirt. Something is happening. Something is happening when a steam is getting out of your pot and the ray of light is coming. Right? So something is happening. This something is Tyndall effect, which allows you to see the beam of light going somewhere. What is happening is that the medium particles are absorbing the light and then they are re-emitting it. Now when they are re-emitting, they are emitting it in any direction. They are not emitting it in a specific direction. Okay, so whenever they are emitting in a specific any direction, not in a specific direction, then you are able to see the whole beam of light. Is that clear? Now what about the dust particles which are not in the path of light? Are they receiving the light? No. So if they don't receive the light, will they absorb the light? No. First they have to receive the light. So they will receive the light, then they will scatter the light. They will re-emit the light. So any particle that will receive the light can only scatter the light. If there is no particle in the zone where the light is falling, will they be able to scatter the light? No, because they are not receiving it. So simple, right? Okay, we got this one. it happens in the colloidal solution. It can happen in other parts also, in normal dart also it can happen, in water vapor it can happen. It's not necessary that it will happen only in the colloidal solution. Like suppose you take a solution, suppose you have a solution of hypo. Hypo is sodium thiosulfate, you know that? You have a solution of hypo. In hypo, the sodium crystals will start to form. It will form a colloid then. So what does a colloid look? It's like a little milky, okay? Now what did you do is that you take a white source of light. What source of light? White source of light, okay? Now from this white source, the rays of light will be going out, okay? Now in this case, when the rays of light will be going out, suppose I put another convex lens in its path, okay? Now what this convex lens will do, if this is at the focal point, then it will generate some parallel rays starting from here. Is that clear? Now if I allow a small portion through which this exposed light can pass and get into this hypo solution, then only this much light will get into it, right? Only this much light will get into it. Now what I did is that I again made a hole here and only allowed this much light to pass through. First thing I will see is that I will see this one illuminated. How will I see it? Illuminated. Okay. In recent times you have seen that in Facebook the roofs, holes are made in roofs and bottles mixed with baking soda are put such that it appears as if a tube light is like getting illuminated. Have you seen that video? Okay, I will show you. Okay, what they're doing is they're taking empty Coca-Cola bottles. Okay, they're putting some bleaching powder and some water in it. They're mixing that and they're closing the lid and they're putting it into, by making a hole into their roof. Okay, so that water may not fall from it. Now what is happening? It is getting illuminated like a tube light or bulb, and the whole room is getting illuminated, okay, during the daytime. So what is happening is that something will happen here. That is why this part will appear illuminated. You will be able to see the Tyndall effect here, okay? Now when this light is passing from here, a peculiar thing is observed. It is observed that if you again let this light to pass through a lens and collect this light on a screen, you will be able to see a reddish orange colored light. But what was this light? White. What is this light? Reddish orange. This light will be reddish orange. Then what happened to the blue color? See, I have VIBGYOR, right? I have VIBGYOR. In white light I have VIBGYOR. So if I get the reddish orange zone, that means I am only receiving, suppose this zone. Suppose this zone. What happened to this zone? Why am I not receiving it? Where did it go? It was scattered midway. Got that? It was scattered midway. This effect, due to this effect, you can see it like lighted up like the bulb. This you can say as Tyndall effect. Is the concept clear? You can say that it is Tyndall effect. Now, so you get a reddish colored light from a white light due to scattering. Okay. A white light was your source. You passed it through a solution of sodium thiosulfate or hypo, where the sodium crystals will start to form. When it will become a colloidal solution, then you will see that the whole portion will get illuminated, and after deriving the end lights you will find that you will only get reddish orange light. That means you are not getting any kind of bluish portion in it. So what is happening is that the bluish portion is getting scattered. What is happening? The bluish portion is getting scattered. Is the concept clear? Okay, so we understood the process of scattering. Okay, now yes, because if the blue, which one is more scattered, blue or red? Blue. More scattered. No, blue is more scattered. Scattering of blue is more than scattering of red. Is that clear? Scattering of blue is more than scattering of red. So which is more scattered? Blue. You did not understand this. See, scattering of red by scattering of blue or violet, it's better to write violet, equals to lambda violet by lambda red whole to the power 4, right? Right? So this will be scattering of red by scattering of violet equals to scattering of violet is 4000, scattering of red is 8000 whole to the power 4. Is that clear? Because lambda red is 8000 angstrom, lambda violet is 4000 angstrom. If you deduct them, this will be 2, or scattering of red is 1 by 16 times scattering of violet. Or I can write scattering of violet is 16 times scattering of red. Is the concept clear? Ekdam? Okay. So see, the violet is always more scattered. In this case also the violet will be more scattered. As the violet will be more scattered, then they will scatter away. What will remain back? The red will be left behind. Is that clear? Okay. Chalo. Using this principle, we will describe a few phenomena. Okay. Now we understood about which one is scattered more. And we also understood that in case of bigger particles like water vapor, there is equal scattering. That means in case of bigger particles like water vapor, we will see a white light, as both of them will be scattered in the same way. Okay. First question, tell me, why are danger symbols red in color? Try? Yeah.
It is very much vibrant.
Not vibrant. Why are danger signal red? Suppose you have to see a danger signal. It must not be close to you. It must be away from you. Yes, tell me.
Because if there is a danger signal in our signal, it will just make our focus on it.
No, it will make a focus. What is then problem with the blue color in danger signal? Why is red used? Why is red used in danger signal? Why are we not using blue in danger signal?
Because of scattering very much.
See, red. Now, if I use a blue signal and if I use a red signal, suppose this is a blue skull, this is a blue skull, and this one is a red skull. Tell me, which will be more scattered, blue or red? Blue. Which will be more scattered? Blue. So, suppose 3 blue rays have moved out. Okay? And 3 red rays have moved out. Clear? I am at this position. This is my eye. This is my eye. Now, in case of blue, one blue will be lost at the start, then the 2 blue will come, another blue will be lost, then another will also be lost. Am I getting any light into my eye? No. Will I be able to see the skull? No, because it is getting scattered. Okay. Now let us look at the red light. Red light, there is no scattering till now. No scattering till now, because red is not usually scattered. After moving further, suppose one red light is scattered, we still have 2 red lights. Will I be able to see the danger signal? Yes, because red is scattered less. Yes. Okay, can you tell me why do our sky appear blue?
Because it was scattering.
Why do our sky appear blue? Anyone?
So because blue color is more scattering.
Blue color is more scattered. So if the rays of sun which are coming, they are scattered, then some part will be scattered in the sky, the rest will enter our eye, right? Those parts which will be scattered in the sky will be those which are easily scattered. Now which is easily scattered? Blue. Therefore the blue will be scattered in the sky. The rest, the reddish colored light will reach our eye. Is that clear? Okay. Can you tell me why do clouds appear white? Why do clouds appear white? Okay, what kind of particle does cloud have? What is clouds made up of? What is clouds made up of? Clouds, rains, clouds. What is cloud made up of?
The particles of dust.
Evaporation of water is what? Water what? Water vapor. They are actually water vapor. So they are actually water molecules. Now water molecules are smaller particle or larger particle? Larger particle. Now is there equal scattering or unequal scattering? Larger. Equal scattering. So if there is equal scattering, what kind of light I will see?
Even white.
White light. So cloud appears white because of that. Is that clear? Okay. Now tell me one more thing. Higher I go into the mountains, the deeper bluish the sky looks. Why? Higher I go up the mountain, the sky looks much blue. As I go lower into the plains, the sky is blue, but a faint colored of sky blue. Okay, we get a whitish kind of blue. But at the higher altitude, we get a deep kind of blue. The navy blue kind of blue. Can you tell me why? See, when the light is coming, VIB GY over, right? So VG or VI, these are darker shades. Okay, then blue. Then the rest, when we go much below, more different colors of light are scattered. Okay, so when we are higher up, the pure blue portions are scattered there. That is why they appear much blue at the higher altitude. Okay. Okay, tell me, I have one more question. Tell me, during sunrise or sunset, the sun appears red or orange. Why? During sunrise or sunset, the sun appears red or orange. Why?
Because it's less scattered.
That is obviously. But why? Why don't we see a reddish colored sun during 12 p.m.? But we see that at 5 p.m. Why? Why do we see that? Okay, tell me one thing. In which case the sun rays travel more distance? Sunrise, sunset, or during the noon? In which case the sunlight travels more distance? Tell me. Sunset. Right? Or during the noon?
Sunset.
Suppose this is our sun. This is our earth. During noon, we don't get any shadow. That means it is overhead. Right? And during the evening, we start to get shadows. That means it is coming. It is coming and it is bending and reaching my eye. Right? Now, if we consider this as our atmosphere, okay, where is the ray of light traveling less? Here or here? In the first case. So, if it travels through less amount of atmosphere, will the scattering be more or less? Less amount of atmosphere, that means less number of particles. Will the scattering be more or less? Less. If it covers more amount of distance, will the scattering be more or less? More. So in this case it is covering more distance. It is covering more distance. This is covering less distance. Right? So when it is covering more distance, the scattering is also more. The scattering is less. If the scattering is more, that means the blue is lost, the green is lost, the yellow is lost. What will be left behind? Orange, red. If in this case the scattering is less, that means a bluish portion may remain, yellow may remain, green may remain. That means we will be getting more of a whitish kind of glow. That is why the sun at the noon appears whitish. Is that clear? Is the concept clear? The same goes to the sunrise. In sunrise also, the sun rays are reaching through a larger part of atmosphere, right? So in that case also, as it is reaching through a larger part of atmosphere, it is covering more distance. So in that case also, there will be more scattering, and sunrise also appears reddish in color. Ekdam clear? Any problem? No. Okay, good. So we understood every details of scattering. Okay. We understood Tyndall effect. We understood why the sky appears as clear sky blue. We understood the color of sunrise and sunset. So we almost got all the details. Okay, so our chapter is completed, the syllabus of first semester is completed. We will be doing the exercises from next day. Okay.